very good evening. Welcome to State of Business on our television. I'm Ashing Veera Singha. Let's have a look at the headlines first. Port unions call off strike on Prime Minister's assurance that ECT will not be given to foreigners. Colombo Consumer Price Index decreased to 3% in January 2021 from 4.2% in December last year. News in detail. Prime Minister Office today announces that the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port will be operated 100% by the Sri Lanka Ports Authority and it will not be handed over to any country for its administration. Temple Tree sources reveal that Premier Rajapaksa gave this assurance after a discussion held with the trade union leaders at the Temple Tree's premises this morning. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, speaking to a team of journalists yesterday in Tangol, had said that the East Container Terminal of Colombo would neither be sold off nor leased out, and therefore the employees at the port who are on strike had nothing to worry. He had also said that the alienation of national assets was not the mandate for the present government to proceed with such policies. Adding further, he said almost all the cabinet ministers were in a view that the ECT should be operated by the Port Authority and not by any third parties. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa told trade unions today that a cabinet paper will be submitted to ensure the ECT is operated 100% by the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. Following the recent visit to Sri Lanka by Indian Foreign Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, it was decided to award the expansion project of the ECT to Adani Group of India. However, Rajapaksa said that the foreign company which was to manage the ECT had refused to accept a report submitted by a committee appointed to explore concerns over the ECT. As a result, the cabinet paper will be submitted to ensure the ECT is fully managed by the Sri Lanka Ports Authority. Following the assurance given by the Prime Minister, trade unions who had been protesting against the deal with the Indian company decided to suspend the protest tomorrow. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority was earlier declared an essential service as workers continued to protest against the decision to give a 49% stake of the ECT to India's Adani Group.
ඒක තමයි අපේ අද කැබිනට් එකේදී තිබුණා අපිට දැන් මේ වැඩපිළිවෙලේදී ජාතික ව්‍යාපාරයක් විදිහට සංවිධානය වෙලානේ ඉන්නේ. එතකොට ඒ කණ්ඩායම් සියල්ලම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මොනවා හරි අපිට මේකේ මාධ්‍ය නිවේදනයක් විදිහට දුන්නොත් අපිට මාධ්‍ය නිවේදනය යනවා. ඒක තමයි. ඒක අපිට පුළුවන් ඒ තැන්වල දැන් එතුමා මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට මැදිහත් වෙලා කියනවා මේක අපිට දෙනවා කියලා. ඒතකොට එතුමා කිව්වා නම් ඉතින් ඒක ආයෙ වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක මෙච්චර කාලෙ ඔයගොල්ලොන්ට එතුමා කියපු එක බොරු වුණා නම් ඔන්න අපිට පුළුවන් ඒක ඒ විශ්වාසය අපිට තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා බය වෙන්න එපා. අද අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩල පත්‍රිකාව අපිටුමා සංකල්ප ඉදිරිපත් කළා තියෙනවා. අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩලය අනුමත කරපු ගමන් නීත්‍යානුකූල මාධ්‍ය නිවේදනයම නිකුත් වෙනවා.
වරාධිකාරී අපි සියලු දෙනාගේ මිල්ලාගෙන වෘත්තීය සමිතියනේ දැන් අගමැතිතුමා සියලු දෙනා ප්‍රකාශ කරා. දැන්මම ගිහිල්ලා වැඩ පටන් ගන්න. මම දන්නවා කොච්චර අමාරුවෙන්ද මේ සර්විසස් ටික අපි තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ මේ වෙලාවේ පහුගිය දවස්වල සිදුවෙන නිසා. ඒ නිසා මේ සර්විසස් ටික ආපහු යන්න පුළුවන් අපි ගාව තියෙන.
General Secretary of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Tilvin Silva, alleges that the newly appointed commission to implement the recommendations of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into political victimization is an effort to silence patriotic movements such as JVP. The leftist party General Secretary argued that judicial powers should not be given to any commission appointed by a single person.
මේ රටේ මේ අපේ රටේ සම්පත් විදේශිකයන් දෙන එකට විරුද්ධව. ඒතකොට අපිට නැගෙනහිර ජැටියේ කොටසත් එකයි බටහිරත් එකයි කොහෙත් එකයි. නමුත් අපි දන්නවා ආණ්ඩුව මුලදී උත්සාහ කරේ මොකද? ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මහත්මයා මුලදී හිටියේ ඔතන නෙවෙයි හිටියේ. එයා කිව්වා ආණ්ඩුව තීන්දුවක් කරන් තියෙනවා වරාය නැගෙනහිර ජැටියේ 49% අදානි සමාගමකට දෙන්න 51ක් වරාය අධිකාරිය තියාගන්න සටන දිග්ගැහිලා යනකොට මොකද කේ? දැන් අකුලන් වෙලා තියෙනවා. අකුලලා තාමත් අපි දන්නේ හරියට අකුලුවද කියලා. කොහොම හරි දැන් කතාවක් යනවා මොකද්ද? නැගෙනහිර ජැටිය තියාගෙන බටේර දෙමු කියලා. දැන් මේක පරස්පරයිනේ. මොකද්ද නැගෙනහිර ජැටිය ඉන්දියාවට දෙන්න හදනකොට ඒකට හදපු තර්කයක් තිබ්බ ඒගොල්ලෝ. මොකද්ද ඒ තර්කය තමයි නැගෙනහිර ජැටිය සංවර්ධනය කරන්න ඕන. ඒ සංවර්ධනය කිරීම ආණ්ඩුවට තනියම කරන්න බෑ. ඒකට පිටින් උදව් ගන්න ඕන කියලා තමයි තර්කය. හැබැයි දැන් කියනවනම් ඒගොල්ලෝ නැගෙනහිර අපි තියාගමු බටහිර දෙමු කියලා. ඒතකොට තර්කෙ බෙදෙනවනේ. ඒ තර්කෙන් දැන් වැඩක් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ නැගෙනහිර ජැටිය අපිට තියාගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ආයි බටහිරක් මොකටද දෙන්නේ? මේ තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද ඉන්දියාවට බය වෙලා ධන ගහලා ධනින් වැටලා ඉන්දියාවට කප්පමක් දෙන පොරොන්දු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉන්දියාව කියනවා බල චීනයට දුන්නා නම් හම්බන්තොට වරාය අපටත් දීපන් වරායකින් කෑල්ලක්වත් කියලා. මේ වෙනුවෙන් දිගටම සටන් කරන ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණ අපේ සමිතිය නිසා ආණ්ඩුවට ඕන ලත්න මේ වෙලාවේ ජනතා විමුක්ති පෙරමුණේ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් කිසියම් ප්‍රමාණයකින් දුර්වල කරගන්න. අපේ අවධානය වෙනස් කරගන්න. අපේ අවධානය වෙන පැතිවලට යොමු කරවන්න. ඒ සඳහා තමයි මේ වගේ
Stay tuned for more news after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Minister of Irrigation Chamal Rajapaksa announces that the government has planned a mega irrigation project to facilitate the feeding of over 2,500 small tanks to receive water from the large irrigation systems of the country and the expansion of the capacities of small tanks to retain more water. Irrigation Ministry Secretary Anura Dissanayake, who also joined at the press briefing, elaborated that the Treasury will be allocating over 7 billion rupees while the Asian Development Bank will be funding for the part of the project.
Two major projects, Wayamba Mahayala, Uturumada Mahayala and Minipe Mahayala is one project. This particular segment of Uturumada Mahayala, we are investing approximately, it's a Asian Development Bank funded concessional lending facility had been provided to Sri Lanka, and it's $435 million will be invested. And this program was originally planned for 6-year period, and now we are accelerating and we are finishing all the projects, that is Wayamba, Uturumada and Minipe canals within 4 years, which will cater 1,500 small tanks from the Uturumada Mahayala North Central Canal, and Wayamba Mahayala will cater about 350 small tanks. So altogether approximately 2,000 small tanks will be fed. The investment for both is approximately, including Minipe, it's around $800 million, and which we will be finishing within next 4-year period. And the small tanks are funding from Treasury funds, and we have been allocated for the small tank rehabilitation program for this year. We have given for the Treasury had allocated 7 billion rupees among 2 state ministries and the main ministry.
Department of Census and Statistics announced that Colombo Consumer Price Index decreased to 3% in January 2021 from 4.2% in December last year. Census Department also adds that food inflation decreased to 6.8% in January this year from 9.2% in December in 2020. The change in the CCPI measured on an annual average basis decreased to 4.3% in January 2021 from 4.6% in December 2020. Monthly change of CCPI recorded at 0.51% in January 2021. Data issued by the Department of Census and Statistics suggests that this was due to price increases observed in items of both food and non-food categories. Moreover, monthly changes of food and non-food categories recorded at 0.29% and 0.22% respectively in January 2021. Accordingly, within the food category, prices of red onion, coconut and sea fish increased in January 2021. However, price of big onion recorded a decline during the month. Meanwhile, prices of items in the non-food category recorded an increase during the month, mainly due to price increase observed in the health payments to private hospitals subcategory. The core inflation, which reflects the underlying inflation in the economy, decreased to 2.7% in January 2021 from 3.5% in December 2020. However, annual average core inflation remained unchanged at 3.1% in January 2021. Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne said that necessary legal reforms would be introduced to direct drug-addicted minor offenders to rehabilitation centres for curative measures instead of retaining them behind the prison cells for an extensive period. Defence Secretary also said a new program will be introduced to prevent seized drugs from being re-entering the drug trade. Defence Secretary General Kamal Gunaratne, participating at a function at Nittabua last weekend, said that keeping the drug-addicted minor offenders in the prison cells for long periods has always brought worse results. He assured that the necessary measures will be taken to introduce new laws which enable sending such offenders for rehabilitation programs. The Defence Secretary also said that a new program will be introduced to prevent seized drugs from being re-entering the drug trade. Participating to witness an inaugural ceremony of a treatment and rehabilitation centre at Nittabua, he said that Sri Lanka Navy and police venture into deep seas and return with more than 1,400 kilograms of seized drugs and hand it over to the authorities. He pointed out that there are occurrences where one portion goes to court and the other returns to the drug trade as a part of a well-organised underworld crime. Defence Secretary warned that the tainted personnel within the system would be identified and prosecuted, adding such incidents take place where large amounts of drugs are placed in one location. He further added that with the assistance of National Dangerous Drug Control Board, another 8 more treatment centres will be set up. Retired General Gunaratne also asserted that plans are in pipeline to set up 20 buildings in Veeravilla to augment the country's prisons capacity for 2,000 inmates as per a request by the Prisons Commissioner General. We'll be back with stock updates after this short break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped minus 101 points to close at 8,567.07, and the S&P SL 20 dropped minus 75.03 points to close at 3,439.15. The turnover was 23.7 billion rupees and over 2 million shares were traded. Up next are forex rates. And that's all the news for today. Join us tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care. Good night.